recording this event so other people can also enjoy it. And thanks everyone for joining today's networking event where we are just taking a look at pixel streaming for e-commerce. And so we've got an excellent group of individuals gathered today to share a little bit about their experiences, perspectives, views on using pixel streaming for e-commerce applications. So our agenda for today's meeting is to first, Eagle will give a brief introduction, and then we'd like to go around with all the groups, all the companies that are present today to share or to give the opportunity to share their project and how they are looking at pixel streaming and e-commerce. And then we have a special presentation today by me that will also go over some pixel streaming principles for e-commerce that will be important for any e-com application. And then we will conclude with a roundtable discussion and Q&A. So you all know me, I'm Quintin. I'm the co-founder of Eagle 3D Streaming. And Valerie, do you want to say hello?
Hi, I'm Valerie, Business Development with Eagle 3D Streaming.
And Jay, do you want to say hi?
Yeah, hi guys, my name is Jay. I'm the marketing manager with Eagle 3D Streaming.
Okay, so we will kick it off and we'll go around the room and I'll just call on each company. And if you'd like to say hello, introduce yourself, the company, and which projects you're currently working on and how you're using pixel streaming. You can, if you've prepared a few slides to go over your application, that's awesome. But if you don't feel like presenting, if now's not the right time, that's totally okay. If you can share any information or ideas on what you're considering and why, that's always great, just to help the group get a little context.
The issues you're having with it.
Yeah. So I will just start at the very top of the list and work our way down, and I will stop sharing my screen just in case the group that we call on would like to share any information. And first we have Jaime and Kinney from what was previously Gather is now Midaverse.
Absolutely. Okay. Hi, everyone. Let me share my screen very quickly. And Jaime, it's all yours.
All right. So yes, hello, everyone. As Quintin just mentioned, our company, Gather Virtual Studios, now is releasing the first version of our flagship product. We have called this new version of the product, the first official release, Midaverse. We started the project in 2020. Some of you already have seen the early version, the MVP product last year and the beginning of this year. But we're gonna give you a little bit of a sneak peek of what is coming down for our release in September. Our application is built on Unreal Engine 4. We are trying to use as much as the greatest features of Unreal Engine to bring this to e-commerce and to business applications, specifically business to business. Our application is hosted on AWS infrastructure, so we basically heavily rely on pixel streaming. The reason why is because we have come to to the realization that it's better to have a good hardware in the cloud, so we can basically standardize all the performance of all the machines and have better results visually. Well, our product's going to be releasing, as I said before, September 14. We're going to have a big exhibition for the business aviation industry in Asia, and we're expecting about 2,000 to 3,000 people. We have already confirmed more than 50 exhibitors and 100 speakers on this presentation. The Midaverse experience is currently focusing on two main verticals. One is workspaces and the other one is simulations, workspace being an office environment or a showroom environment, and simulations for training purposes, for training commercial employees or business development or people that are working on the food industry. So we've been working closely with a couple big companies that are in the food industry, and we are already deploying these products in the next 3 to 4 months.
Can you quickly share screen, Jaime, yourself?
Yeah, so I'm gonna share my screen. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of a sneak peek of what we have here. All right, so here we are. So this is basically our main lobby. In our main lobby, what we have is now our avatars are humanoid. They have a whole bunch of different features, and they are completely compatible with the mannequin of Unreal Engine, which makes it easier to bring new different avatars and stuff like that. This is our reception area where we have spatial sound. I'm gonna teleport myself to where Kenny is.
Kenny was, sorry.
Kenny was. All right. So we are using the game lift for the multiplayer experience. Each one of these rooms is scalable. We can have up to 120 players on each of these game sessions, and which is pretty good. And each session is auto scalable. So here we have one of the planes. This is actually called the Falcon World, and what the company Dassault Systems asked us was to have photorealistic planes, so people can actually walk inside of the plane. The plane itself is a private area where you can even type a password, and you can have private meetings with a potential customer. Here you can see how the plane looks like. When it highlights, I can sit on that chair. Now I'm sitting on the chair, and I can have a business conversation with one of the customers, or show them the plane around, and so on. So this is stuff that we are doing thanks to the pixel streaming, because we are not relying on hardware from the final user. We can basically crank up the quality of the graphics. This is just one of the examples that we have. In other areas, we have, for instance, the group of Phoenix. It's one of the clients that we are doing right now. Is for the manufacturing industry. So they have here an innovation lab. So this will be within the showcase of workspaces. They have an innovation lab. They have an auditorium that way. I can see Kenny coming here. So yeah, that's Kenny right there. He's muted, so that's why his tag is in red. We have a chat system that we can talk to each other here. We can create groups exactly like you can do it like in a WhatsApp type of scenario. You have global chat. You have emojis as well, and different things. I can go in first-person view, or I can go in third-person view. And yeah, this is in a nutshell. I know time is tight, so this is it. This is it. Just to give you a little bit of a glimpse of what's coming down the pipe.
Excellent. Yes, thank you for that overview, Jaime. Good to see Midaverse coming along. Next, we have Sama with Nimble.
I just
Sama,
want to say if you guys have any questions for each other, if we run out of time for Q&A, we just email Quintin and we'll put you guys together.
Yes. So hi, Sama. Take it
Hi,
away.
how you doing? Thanks for having me on this. So I'm a producer here at Nimble. We're a 3D animation and interactive studio based in Bristol in the UK. We have been keeping our eye out on pixel streaming over the last year, so we haven't been using it, but I'm here in this session to see how others are using it and how we might be able to take it forward and offer it as an option for our clients. We typically create interactive experiences for enterprise, so business to business applications.
Okay,
And that's
great.
me.
Yes, thank you, Samla, and thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Next, we have Jacob.
Hello, everyone.
Jacob,
How
all
are you all
yours.
doing? How's it going? Hi, guys. I'm Jacob. Hello. I am a XR developer here up in Preston in the United Kingdom. I work for the university here, and I'm currently employed at the Innovation Lab, where we take kind of situations and problems where we approach for commercial projects, and generally we take them in a digital field. A lot of the projects which I've worked on are predominantly XR based, so augmented reality, virtual reality, extended reality. About 2 years ago, me and my dev team cottoned on to pixel streaming and kind of the possibilities of pixel streaming and how we can kind of take that and use it. From there, we got put into a national lockdown, which kind of we all got sent home and we had to work from home almost indefinitely since then. And the kind of the use cases for pixel streaming really cropped up from there for us, because we thought a lot of our clients, they need access to high-end digital, well, really good rendered stuff, but they didn't have access to it. So pixel streaming was our solution for that. I don't really specifically have an individual project to show you guys. I've got kind of a few different projects that we've used and harnessed pixel streaming. So alongside me working here at the university, I also work freelance as well. So I do help with a few different companies who predominantly do work with Unreal Engine. So I'm a UE4 expert, if you will. I've been using it for probably like 9 years now, so I'd like to think I'm okay at it. So however, here is, I'll share my screen, and I've got just a few demos here to kind of show off some of the things that we have done and how we've used pixel streaming to, well, I guess present digital content to someone who wouldn't have it otherwise. The first of which is, this isn't directly run in pixel streaming right here, but the final product was actually run in a pixel streaming context. So this is a 3D recreation of a digital factory here up in Preston. And basically we built a load of tools for the clients so they could rearrange and retopologize their their factory in real time. They were actually in the middle of moving their old unit to a new unit, and they didn't have access to good scans or whatever of the actual buildings, so we recreated the building for them. And from there, they were able to, well, essentially go around and replace and move all of their existing equipment and being able to see how that affects a navigational area. From there, our first proper pixel streaming project that we worked upon was a digital degree show. So here at the university, the students last year, they didn't actually have a physical degree show. So we built them this interactive online digital gallery that they could experience on any device. So this was on mobile, this was on tablet, iPhone. Yinan could go and view this basically on a tablet. And this was all content managed as well via a WordPress backend. So the students went on WordPress, uploaded their artwork, and it all just got kind of pulled in through a couple plugins I built for Unreal Engine to then view this. It worked really well. It was a brilliant experience, and we got really, really good reception from it. And the feedback for this was great, and it worked really smoothly too. We really tried to focus on the students' artwork on this one. From there, I have done a lot of personal development into architectural visualization as well. So I've done a lot of projects with architectural firms and companies. This here is a recreation of a building, probably like a couple miles away from me over the road. And this is a house that was built for a client through an architectural company. And essentially I built them this configurator where they could go in and rearrange the time of day. They could go through and change the different, metals on the side of the building, or even if they wanted to, they could cut through different camera angles and view different camera angles of the property. This is all completely content managed as well. So if let's say, for example, the client specifically wanted, I want these kind of bricks on this wall, or this kind of metal on this asset. It was all using the variant manager. So it took probably like 3 minutes to go change the materials and then come back and re-export it, upload it back to AWS, and it was just working, which was really, really useful, obviously, for them, because they, on a scalable solution, they need a way of being able to host these kinds of things online quite quickly. I've also been doing a lot of work with a Canadian-based company called Mackit. They are absolutely lovely guys, and I've built them quite a few individual configurators, which all run on a pixel streaming cloud server for them. Once again, this is based on the configurator that I've got all the backend for. The best part about this is all the UI, and that's completely customizable, and it works really smoothly and efficiently for them. So they quite regularly give me these housing models. I'll take them in and just kind of swap over everything. We've even got different ways of changing the camera angle. So you've got interior views, bird's eye views and whatnot. And even interior scenes like this one. So this is running, you can obviously see this is running in a web browser as well. So this works really nicely. Obviously, using pixel streaming as well, we can run this using RTX ray trace graphics. So all the reflections are real time and they look phenomenal. It looks architecturally accurate too. And we can even have real time lighting and everything. So nothing really has to be baked. We can do it all at gameplay. I guess from there, I've got, like I said, I've got hundreds of demos, and these are all running on pixel streaming servers, and these are all different ways of viewing architectural content for, I guess, product or e-commerce. So this one is actually linked up to a WordPress database that the guy who this was built for, he sells wood furniture, chairs and whatnot. And we were showing him how essentially he can go in and have a WordPress database of inventory, update the prices through there, and then have that stream directly into the Unreal Engine component of this through a couple plugins. All the data will be pulled in dynamically, so he can go in and update the information about this table on his WordPress site, and it would automatically dynamically do it through into the game engine. And then just do it all there at runtime. So there's no need for, let's say, for example, he changes the price of that light. He doesn't have to then re-upload a new version. He can just do it on his backend and it will do it automatically for him. Yeah, that's a lot of the pixel streaming stuff. There's a few experimental stuff that I could show you that's looking at using pixel streaming for cloud rendering. So this is actually a HoloLens simulation here of cloud streaming, but this is
Jacob, out of respect of time, and all the other individuals.
Go ahead, Quintin.
Okay, but thank you very much for sharing everything, and it's good to see you. And looks like you've done a lot of really cool things lately.
Oh, did Quintin just drop out?
Let me text him. I don't know.
Architectural visualization, I think, from my end of things. Like I said, I do a lot of.
Can everybody see that okay? No, here we go.
Yeah, we'll just keep going, and when he'll get back on.
Yeah, thanks for picking it up, Val. I'm back, everyone.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Quintin, Valerie. Everyone, my name's Brendan Birdsell, and I'm the Business Development Manager at OGL Engineering. So we're a turnkey geomatics engineering company. We leverage spatial data, cutting-edge technology to enable our clients to make better informed decisions. So for you, those of you who are not aware of what exactly geomatics is, it's information technology that deals with essentially everything spatial data-wise. So I'll just start this video here. So what you're looking at in this video is a simulation of a project that we did in Banff National Park. it was made using Unreal Engine. So essentially what we do is we pick we fly over a location with our twin engine aircraft, anything from utility right-of-ways, towns, cities. Then we have high-powered sensors that acquire very accurate LiDAR and imagery from these planes. And the combination gives essentially what you're looking at here. So a big thing for us is obviously data integrity. We want to give our clients with a true geospatial digital twin. We don't model anything. It's not an estimation. There's no idealized vegetation, interpolation, no extrapolation on the data. It is what it is. But I guess the key challenge in the industry is that this data isn't readily accessible. It's huge in its raw form. We're talking terabytes. You need big computers, technical knowledge, specialized software, just to view the data, let alone interact with it. So we started looking at Unreal Engine, and it all started back in 2017 when Fortnite came out. Actually, I was with a friend and we decided to jump on and play it. As soon as I saw the size and scale of the multiplayer open world environment, I kept thinking, why can't we do this with our data? And sure enough, soon we realized that we could, and not just for rendering movies, but also interacting with it, immersing yourself in it, in the full digital twin. So yeah, this is what the data is. So now more recently with pixel streaming, advances in that, and working with Eagle, we've been able to create a browser-based platform that essentially allows our clients to access all their data. So yeah, what you can see here is just a video of me and a colleague of mine messing around in Banff here down at the river. So yeah, this application essentially gives everybody through the browser an opportunity to go into the world, explore the world, extract spatial data from it, collaborate, really interact and immerse yourself with the digital twin, all through your browser and all being pixel streamed in. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think just, with digital twins being such a hot topic right now and being super important for driving innovation and performances for companies, pixel streaming definitely opens up that opportunity to share this data in this form as opposed to a modeled or fake form, if you may. And that's it. Thanks, Quintin.
So thank you for sharing, Brendan. Next, we have Joe. Joe Durr with 3-axis.
Hello, everybody. It's been great to hear your application of pixel streaming today. Some really exciting stuff. And there's been some great overlaps as well we've seen already. Jacob, I know one of your projects in particular, the degree show, is one that we've been working on ourselves. So it's really exciting to see, how you loop up the back end as well, which is something that we've been trying to do ourselves. So I've actually got the builders in at the moment, so I'll keep it short and sweet in the interest of being able to actually hear me. But I'll show you what we've been up to recently in terms of ecom. Bear with me a second. So in case you didn't catch our name, we are called 3-axis, and we basically pitch ourselves B2B, but we're consumer facing. We're targeting luxury fashion brands mostly, as well as sportswear brands and stuff like that, to deliver not just e-com experiences, but also marketing activations. So, for Nike or something like that, it'd be, running around an experience, opening shoe boxes with potential of perhaps winning a shoe. So this is basically where we're up to at the moment. I don't know if you see properly.
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out at the moment the best way of going about this, because we want to have like a single layer approach, basically, where we can have the iframe containers embedded directly within sites. At the moment, we just want everything to be contained within the game. But yeah, it's a little demo that we've got going at the moment. As you can see, very much, you know, focusing on the beauty of the experience rather than the functionality at the moment. But yeah, that's what we're up to. Thanks for listening.
Excellent. And thank you for sharing, Joe. And we are halfway through. So let's call it maybe the intermission. And or Craig, do you want to say hello before we continue on with the second half of our event?
Yes, hello. Thanks everyone for sharing, and thanks Quintin and Valerie for putting this on. Definitely super exciting to see all the pixel streaming experiences. You know, at Epic, we're still super excited about the possibilities of pixel streaming. So, you know, if anyone needs any help, you know, we're here to help, and you know, definitely appreciate Quintin putting these events on so people can share.
Rock on. Thank you, Craig. Okay, next we have Caesar.
All right. Hey, Craig. Hey, Q.
Hey.
Share my screen. All right. So I work at Lead Architects. I mean, for the past year, we have been working on a development in Roatan in Honduras. So it's basically a set of houses that people can configure on their own. So all of this is kind of leverage because this development, it's leveraging a new zonification area. So the developers want to assign a new governance to all the zone. So all of that would be kind of rigged with a configurator. So this is in Honduras, in the island of Roatan. So some of this is a bit of the development's idea that it's creating a community. I mean, it's not only the way that you interface and then you configure their homes. All of these are set up in a kit of parts. So eventually they will be all robotically and digitally fabricated in the island using local sources. And also the main idea is to generate a community, because then through all these systems, like people can start, let's say, communicating as well. So you will have different clusters of different people. You'll have family, then the young people that can be clustered together in the social area. So all of these kind of experiences that are set up. Also, yeah, we can also within the software, we can start augmenting all the experience, you know, all the information of houses. People can interface so to see where is which, all the neighbors, to creating like a digital twin of the community around it. And then we have been also using a lot of twin motion just to do quick different quick videos, just to showcasing a little bit of like the mood that these spaces would generate in different sort of times of day. And the co-living areas is a very important aspect, you know, so generate these communal experiences, or people that come into the platform, they can even rearrange what do they want. Do they want to have a library? Do they want to have a pool area? Do you want to have a restaurant? So all of that is a bit set up on the configurator. So everything is set up voxel based. So that's why we can, every unit has an agency to know where it's located, where in the stack. And then we have generated a kit of parts that they can be deployed depending on where that unit is. So if it can have an extended terrace, it can have a roof garden because it has no one at the top. So all of this is a bit part of the experience. So this is the current version of the configurator running pixel streaming. We developed a front end all in web developed, I mean, HTML and JavaScript. So we can, you know, like real time configure things quicker in the UI. So people can choose between where do they want to be located, air rights, configure the interior of the unit, and this is all using ray tracing. So we can, you know, very quickly, you know, do changes in the interior, and this would be rendered with high fidelity and low latency also through the pixel streaming. People can just kind of see how the balcony is, how the view can look around, if there's some blockage or clearance from other neighbors. And then once they're completely, when they're done, they can download as well a summary that it's generated based exactly on their decisions on the gameplay. So this is all downloaded as an HTML that just does the brochure of what they selected on their site, on with what unit, what specific tier parts, and then this also gets sent to the marketing team of the developer. And then, yeah, so all of this is leveraging in modular bespoke pieces, locally fabricated, digital fabrication. So ideally, we will connect all of these kits. So whilst you order your house, you'll have real-time data of cost, time, and set because it will link to the factory. Yep, that's it for my side. Thank you, guys.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing, Caesar. Okay, next we have Pat.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. It is fantastic to see all these examples. I just love seeing the growth of pixel streaming over the years. I came out of motion picture and visual effects and have been in the XR space for about 7 years. Created the first VR app back in 2015. And since then, did a lot of pixel streaming experiments when I was at 3D Excite, Dassault Systems, Macavision, et cetera, mostly for automotive. So when I ran the virtual garage for Honda and Acura, we did some tests. We did tests with Audi, Ferrari, FCA, you name it. And right now, I'm with a company called Kinestry, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about us as I get towards talking about what we're looking to do in pixel streaming. So I don't have an actual example to show you right now, but I love what everybody's doing. I think it perfectly aligns with what we're trying to do. And we first met Quintin through our friends at Epic. So Craig, I wanted to thank you again for that kind introduction. So if you don't mind, let me just share this real fast and make sure I'm sharing the right thing. It's always a challenge sometimes, right? So Kinestry is an innovation studio, and we're based in Los Angeles. We have strong expertise in IoT and artificial intelligence. And the only reason I bring that up is because the work that we do, especially on the e-commerce side, is largely driven sometimes around those edge technologies. And we are a huge proponent of the future base. So from AI to the metaverse, really thinking holistically about the world building that needs to go into any of these experiences. And of course, pixel streaming would be a large component of that. So we're supporting from the marketing to R&D to sales and e-commerce. And our clients range from entertainment to consumer electronics to fashion and apparel, et cetera. One of the things that we've done most recently, it wasn't pixel streaming, but it was a very large B2C engagement on Tmall in China with the Dickies brand. And this sort of hints to where we're trying to go and what we're trying to do with pixel streaming. We're working on very comprehensive end-to-end solutions that would incorporate AI-driven e-commerce applications that are based in the Unreal Engine, but are pixel streamed out through all kinds of devices from your mobile to your desktop, and that incorporate simulations and virtual try-ons and all of those types of experiences. So we are just super excited to be a part of this. Quintin and Valerie have been great in supporting us and getting us up to speed with our various clients. So again, thank you, Quintin. I'll drop out there, but very excited to see what everybody's doing, and looking forward to the future with you all.
Great, and thank you for sharing, Pat. Next on the list, we have Stefan.
Hello. I will try to do the 5-minute challenge you gave me. You gave us. Okay. Let's have a look to then what we propose in Jazzagar. It's a company I develop. We want to work on something we call reinventing engagement, the brand gameplay. Then, who are we? Jazzagar is an innovation company dedicated to creativity, innovation, design thinking. And now our motto is to boost the collaborative, to dare to do the unexpected. What's the brand gameplay? The idea is change the engagement paradigm from the consumers and the brand. Then what we understood is today consumers don't want just to give their opinion. They want to participate, co-create, have the power of influence. Then we think it's time to enter in the era of collaboration. Then how can we do that regarding the real-time 3D and or things like that? We want to reinvent the relationship between brands and their customers and support them to create immersive and collaborative digital universe based on what we call the brand gameplay. Let's have a look to why immersive real-time 3D in pixel streaming and can be a game changer in e-commerce. You see on the left, you got shoes from a top luxury website brand. On the right, you got shoes from Amazon. The difference is not huge. And sometimes it's really better. The experience, the buying experience is better in Amazon than in a very luxury brand. Then this is something you have to change. How can we make the difference? One idea could be to reproduce the environment of a shop in real-time 3D, but how to go further than what is finally a skeuomorphism. The skeuomorphism, for example, a good example is the telephone. For when the digital telephone appear, people redesign digital telephone with rotary dials. If you see the example of this shop in real-time 3D, why are these lamps hanging from the ceiling where there's no gravity? Why do you need to do that? Then we want to push and challenge that approach, that why do you have to reproduce and what kind of gameplay we can use? Then our intuition, and we did a first MVP, it's to transform and enrich e-commerce into an immersive interactive journey, which allow people to dive into the universe and really participate in the co-creation of the brand. I will share with you a small video that is in Throwing Pixel. We did an immersive contents in multiplayer immersive contents in pixel streaming. And thanks to Eagles, it's working. Then first you choose your avatar and you go in the contents. Then you see my screen here. Okay.
Yes.
Then first you go in the content, what we call the cocoon, where you get a challenge. The challenge here is to invent an energy food where you were able to, I will come back a little bit, energy food where a range of energy food. And then we ask the consumers to work on the universe and develop what we would call the Lego, in fact, of all the contents that could enrich this brand universe. Then there's a creative session with them. We got a lot of different kind of pictures. And then we gave them a configurator. Here it's a prototype right now. We work with different, they help them to choose the assets, all the key assets that make sense regarding the challenge. Finally, they go and they got the cocoon with the contents that make sense, the textures. They can also have the objects, the assets, the foliage that are that could be interesting to use. Then finally, when the cocoon is full, they're prepared to leave the cocoon and go and enter and create the universe. Then when they are ready, and they could be in multiplayer phase like that. Then more than only one person that can be there. You see, there's another one here. Then they can enter in the contents and begin to constrict the universe. Then in this example, this universe, the foliage and all the design could be co-designed with the consumer, creative consumers, and we can give them, the idea is to give them easy interface and to really choose the contents. Here we use Promethean IA, it's to help that. And then finally, they can go and enter in co-create, enhance the brand universe. This kind of approach could really be interesting for them to finally choose what kind of universe could create, decide to enhance the product. Here, they can design the house they want. That could be the place where they can discover the product. Finally, they can also choose, enhance the product. And this is a prototype to really, for us, try to understand the key point in terms of technology, but also what could be the future of immersive potential e-commerce. Then the idea is to share and potentially broadcast on Twitch exclusive collaborative experience, interactive immersion of consumers in brand universe, and co-create virtual stores. Then versus only sell a product. This is our vision, the way we are working in this direction to really propose something different to the brands. Thanks. Sorry, 6 minutes.
Excellent. Thank you, Stéphane. And then we have, last but certainly not least, Lance.
Hello, guys. Let me share my screen as well. There we go. I assume you guys can all see that. So I'm Lance Van Nostrand. I'm with XR Media Group, and we are somewhat of a creative studio as well on the area of pixel streaming. We've been working on developing a platform we call XR On Scene that provides a visual geo explorer for exploring high resolution environments. Let's see. Good. There we go. Now, where did we start? We've developed a pipeline for doing kind of photogrammetry and LiDAR to collect regions for the entertainment industry and for building industries and some pipeline companies and such. And we've had some application success with developing on the right here an augmented reality application for Red Bull Rampage. We were a finalist for an Emmy Award this year for doing some work for the Olympics. But we've been trying to figure out ways of using, as we've improved our model building, how to bring people down to the surface. In fact, there's going to be some use of some of our technology in upcoming Rampage broadcast this year, where we're going to actually bring people down to the surface of a virtual scanned mountain and provide some interesting augmented reality in the virtual production world. But we've been looking at larger applications and not as large of a region as, say, Brendan is looking at, which is super interesting. We've tried to focus on high resolution, smaller environments that you can really bring in the detail. This one little video clip that I have in here shows the Washington Monument. Due to copyright, I can't show you the Lincoln Memorial and Martin Luther King speaking on it, but there's some environments that, some VR games that we've been able to contribute some high resolution scans to as well. And we're thinking, how can we make use of this in a, let's see, in a larger sense? How can we use these wonderful environments and give people access to these environments for different purposes? So the kinds of markets that we're looking at are the BIM and the LIM market for builders, land management, parks and campuses. I don't know, you can think of Disney World and having the ability to virtually visit before you get there. We've had contacts with college campuses that are looking for accurate models to provide for first responders. So, you know, we've been working on trying to build a great way to take some of the models that we have and deliver it in a high resolution format for various purposes. So this kind of UI mock-up here is just to kind of get the point across that there's a lot that you can do in an environment, like tag things that you'd like to see or embed videos or pictures at various locations, drop pins, or mark where service has to occur. Let's see, get through some of these. Planning your way through an environment, or even figuring out where you're going to place certain items from a building point of view, all seem like applications. And I know we've all thought of these kinds of applications in the past. We've been working hard on trying to fund the development of this platform through all of the commercial jobs that we've been doing. What are some of the key drivers and challenges for this? Well, on the geo application, obviously the challenge is getting enough detail and ground truth. So, you know, because we're finding that what we're going for here is the ability to bring people down to the ground. And on a mountain, like I was just showing you, where there's no trees and shrubs, you know, the scanning techniques are fairly simple. When you start putting in trees and shrubs, it gets a lot more complicated to have that ground truth appear from a scan. I did notice, you know, Brendan showing a lot of point cloud kind of data to get around some of that, which was very interesting. But those are definitely challenges. Also, the time it takes to put these scans together is super important. Feels like for this kind of an application to take off, you have to be able to capture an evolving environment, especially in the building industry. If construction continues, you want to get snapshots along the way. You can't go do a scan and then come back 3 weeks with a beautiful model. We need to turn that around faster. On the pixel streaming side, scale is certainly the problem. The hybrid cloud solutions that Eagle is providing is certainly helping in getting that way, but the costs are high for massive scale. So you know, we want to grow from the targeted kind of client environment to the massive scale environment as pixel streaming improves, and of course the user experience of you know, of making sure that the user is having a great experience and there's not a lot of latency when they're interacting with the environment, which obviously depends on networks. So these are kind of technical hurdles that we are all addressing and keeping an eye on, and hoping that pixel streaming can continue to evolve and solve some of them. I know with Craig here on the line talking about pixel streaming and the new changes in 427 are, you know, I'm very interested to kind of see how things are moving and what we can take advantage of going forward. No, that's all. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Lance. And so that concludes everyone sharing. Thank you all very much for sharing a little bit about your projects. To conclude the event, Eagle has put together some principles related to pixel streaming for e-commerce. And the goal of this is just to share some pointers to help keep in mind when you're developing out pixel streaming applications for the best possible user experience. So first, why pixel streaming for e-commerce? Well, pixel streaming isn't going, or excuse me, e-commerce isn't going away. It's grown from 200 billion to 760 billion just in the United States in the last 10 years. So obviously e-commerce is here to stay. And the good thing about Unreal is it allows, as we've seen today, a lot of really cool, immersive, high fidelity, big data experiences. So where pixel streaming comes in is getting that experience into the hands of all of your users across a variety of devices. And that is the reason why we think pixel streaming has a place in e-commerce. So when you're making your application, the most important thing is that it is built for the cloud. Cloud native Unreal applications is sort of a new thing, but it's here to stay. We need to start thinking about it as the cloud as a similar deployment type as a mobile application or a desktop application. The applications built for the cloud need to perform well in the cloud. So here are some key resources we think are helpful to keep in mind when developing for the cloud. If we're thinking about scale or using any public cloud like AWS or Azure, we are limited and tied to the GPUs they have available. So if you're developing on a 3090, for example, and you're using 100% of that GPU, probably when you get to the cloud, you're going to have resource issues. So we like to kind of suggest developing with a 2080 in mind, because that's about the type of performance you'll see across the major big clouds. Also something to keep in mind, which goes under the radar, are CPU spikes. We don't really think about CPU as much when we're thinking about graphical experiences, but we've seen this before on a loading screen or some specific event in an application causes the CPU to spike, and that can take an impact on performance. So we always like to say, don't forget about the CPU. Also, RAM, check for memory leaks, because when you're running in the cloud, sometimes your app can run 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. And if you've only tested it locally for 30 minutes to an hour, then you may not notice a memory leak that can occur over a large period of time. So tighten up the apps and check for memory leaks. And then as far as VRAM goes, 6 gigs or less is a good place to start. If you're hitting 8, there's a chance that you may crash in the cloud. We've seen this time and time before. So don't try to use 100% of your VRAM, save a little bit of room as a buffer. So the question is when to publish to the cloud? And the answer is day one, because we have seen it and it breaks our hearts. Companies bring $1 million apps to us and they're not built from the cloud, and there's usually some rework or something that has to be done. And you don't know what you're going to get until you publish it to your cloud. And the only way to be sure that your mouse is behaving properly, you're happy with the resolution, all those little details, you'll only be able to check those if the application actually gets to the cloud. So there's a few cloud hosting providers for pixel streaming. It's great to interact with one of them from the get-go just to make sure you know what to expect and that you're testing in that cloud environment. We've also seen testing being done in local or offline environments, and it is not representative of what testing is like truly when you're actually in the cloud and viewing your experience over the internet. So please publish from day one, test using the actual cloud experience, and then refine and republish.
Quintin, are you going to send this document out to the group?
Yes, definitely. Another thing to keep in mind is, and we saw, sort of Caesar, and in his example is where to put the user interface. And you have two options. One is like what Caesar did, where you do it in HTML on the front end, or you can do it also within the Unreal app itself. And they both have pluses and minuses. The pluses with doing your user interface in the front end is it's more responsive and it's more crisp and it's more clear. So you're able to have a more crisp and refined user interface that can also then be responsive across devices. So you can have one for desktop and then you can have one for mobile. The downside with doing something like this is you're probably, if you're developing this, then you're going to end up being tied to a cloud provider at that point, because usually when you're doing this deep of integration, you've kind of got to hitch your wagon to a hosting provider. So it doesn't make you as flexible and portable doing it this way. If you decide to build your user interface within the Unreal application, the good thing is that you're portable, so you can move between cloud and hosting providers very, very easily, and your team is smaller. So you don't need a front-end developer at this point. You can just use Unreal Engine engineers to develop out your application. So you're a little bit more flexible and nimble, smaller team size, doing a UI in this type of environment. Another thing that always has to be considered is planning for usage. And we like to do the 50-50 rule, meaning if your spikes are determined at certain parts of the day, plan for having a steady concurrent usage of about 50% of that, and then being able to burst for the remaining 50. Another thing to keep in mind is the exposure your app gets will be different over the day, and you will have different spikes at different times. So automotive industry, for example, very busy Saturday mornings because that's when people shop for cars. So you will also have a graph showing when there's the usage of your application. And then finally, tools that we think are essential, save states and web deliverables. It's great if you have save states and integrate into your app. so that users can remember if they've started customizing a purse, they leave and they need to come back. Well, they don't want to start over. They want to resume where they left off. So save states allow for that. Also a shopping cart. You can also do downloads as deliverables. That's very helpful. I'm building my car. I want to see my building materials. So I download that as a PDF and then I can share it with friends. A login registration system is also very important to have. This is going to help users when they sign in, remember in-app purchases, and they're able to review previous orders and have all their data in one single localized place. And you'll need to be able to connect your Unreal Engine to your front end. How do you do e-com using the Unreal Engine? One method is using a REST API. So you can connect it through an SDK to Magento, which is a common e-commerce platform. And if you have any questions on this, our developers can help answer those. But that is one way to do the actual, oh, I buy something in my Unreal Engine, that actually turning into a real world purchase. And then of course, consumer analytics, it's super interesting. You can track buying behavior. You can see where a user is walking around your experience and track that and then interpret that into better buying decisions. And then you can also track user data, frequency, purchases. Obviously, consumer analytics are very, very important.
When we're out of time.
I know. So yeah, and well, that was it. So maybe it was perfect timing. So thank you everyone for attending today's event. If you would like an introduction to someone that was here today, just shoot me an email and I'll help facilitate the introduction.
Great job, everyone. This was fascinating and everybody did such an amazing job. So we really appreciate your time and your participation.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks, Quintin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks
Thank you
everyone.
very much, guys.
Yep, good to see you all. All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye from Paris.
So long.
Thank you. Bye-bye.